False Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for FanSided. Who's one of the video behind me.
That's right, baby.
I'm joined today by a man who wears a pair of shorts better than Tate Sandell, who is more accurate on anything he does in his life than Carter Davis, and he's just simply better at everything he does than Jared Circle. Cody Williams, content director, the Connor Talty of this podcast, fansided.com. We've made it through the first round of the college football playoff. Well, sort of. We still got to watch the end of the Oregon JMU game, but how are you?
The first round of the college football playoff answered the years long question from a Tribe Called Quest. Can I kick it? No, you can't. No, you can't.
Dude, that kid who was like wearing like overalls and with a mustache with Mac, like he should have played that game.
100%. He was much closer than anyone in the A&M Miami game. That's for sure.
Dude, just I ripped Jared Circle. So he was like a backup kicker for Georgia. Like he young way cooted, man. He kicked the turf. You get to go to college for free. This is what you do.
It's so bad, man. I mean, it's been a weekend for college football playoff games. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's been a weekend of college football playoff games. We Our first rounds in the books. Last night we had Alabama overcame a 17-point deficit to beat Oklahoma, who is still 1 win away from the first playoff victory to date.
That's right. Yeah, and it was a big night for freezing cold takes too, because when Alabama went down 17-0, everyone was firing off the takes. Man, I'm glad I refrained personally.
And then the first window of the day we had Miami, or number 10 Miami scored 10 points to beat Texas A&M in College Station. The wind was awful in that game.
It was crazy, man. And like the first kick for Miami, that wasn't a bad kick. It truly wasn't, but I think it ruined the kid's confidence is really what happened. But like he hit a good ball, and like I just watched, like I saw like the flags on the top of the goalpost blowing to the right, and I was just like, oh, that ball's not stopping. That's just keeping going that way.
Like in Madden, when you're like, oh, I focus on accuracy when you're building up your kicker, then you get too much power, and the ball just spins too fast.
That's right.
And then just to protect the young, we're not going to say the final scores of what happened with Ole Miss beating Tulane in the rematch badly, and then yeah, it's not looking super hot there. A little bit hotter, but not super hot there in Eugene, Oregon, because the Ducks are just absolutely destroying the Dukes right now.
Yeah, we got a little bit earlier recording time because this one's in the books. We're not going to say any final scores, but Oregon has put this one away for sure.
100%. Once they block that punt, I'm like, it's over. It was over for them. That's fine.
Look, I'm not trying to be mean to JMU. It was over when they got off the bus. Let's be real.
That holding penalty, they went like fourth and goal from the Oregon 35.
It's not great. It's not what you want.
No, it's not what you want. And we obviously false start here. We're gonna do some 3 yards in a cloud of punt today. I'm
Mhm.
gonna get going with my first set of runs. You got a run. I got some pass. We got some punt. It's gonna be great. So
Yes, sir.
my first two runs. I'm gonna run with Alabama and Kalen DeBoer's college football playoff experience. It matters.
Mhm.
And I'm also gonna run with the fact that Miami's fun when they give the ball to Mark Fletcher Jr. or Malachi Tony and don't ask Carson Beck to throw the ball because he didn't throw a pick today.
That's right. Marcel Reed did, but not Carson Beck.
No, no. Very impressed with Alabama. We'll talk about this more on tomorrow's show for Monday. He's not going to be going to Michigan now. Not that he ever really was, but uh, he's got that black hoodie. Also, the fact that the uniforms are the exact same, and both he had a red hat, Venables had a red hat. They both have black hoodies. They have the same complexion. It was terrifying.
And I'm pretty sure it was like the reverse uniforms from the first matchup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that like they just reversed who wore crimson. So it was wild.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I don't know. I just was impressed with DeBoer and everything.
Mhm.
Ryan Grubb still has no idea how to run the football,
No.
none whatsoever. But like, it just shows that DeBoer is probably, we're looking for that fourth best head coach in college football right now. It might be him.
No, 100%. I mean, I I have been, with all my criticism of Alabama this year, I've been hesitant to put a lot of it on DeBoer because I don't think that's the case. I think he's still a damn good football coach, man. And It was impressive to see. I think like the way DeBoer adjusted at halftime to make sure that specifically to like help out the defense, the way Kane Womack also adjusted on defense. Thought the defense came out and really put John Mateer in a blender. He looked like he didn't know what was going on in that game. And early on that wasn't the case. And so like I have to credit the Alabama coaching staff for what they did there. But more importantly, like I feel like DeBoer and whatever he said to Ty Simpson at halftime seemed to work, man. Because Ty Simpson looked pretty rattled for most of that first half. He came up and decreased the deficit a little bit before halftime, but coming out, he played a really good second half and like didn't do anything stupid. And I think like that's kind of the biggest thing. And like when you think back to even the Washington teams with DeBoer, whenever they don't do something stupid, which was a real problem with Jalen Milroe last year, was doing something stupid. It's gonna be a tough game to win for the opposition.
Yeah, when they protect the football, they're hard to beat. And when you're as reckless with the football as Oklahoma was, you're going to give up points in a
Mhm.
hurry and everything like that. Obviously, I'll unpack Oregon or well, you'll unpack Oregon. I'll unpack Oklahoma there in a little bit. It's tired. We're tired. It's late. It doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
been a long day, working from 9 to 9.
9-9, baby. It's been a day.
Um, I kind of wonder though, like now that you've beaten, you beat Oklahoma, you avenged that loss. Indiana got a really bad matchup. I wonder if Indiana might suffer what Oregon did a year ago.
I'm less concerned about that because the one thing my immediate thought when I thought about the Indiana Alabama matchup was when I think back to like the way Alabama plays defense and what we saw, on Friday night against Oklahoma. A lot of what they were trying to do defensively was to rattle John Mateer, was to get in his head and force him to make a bad decision. Not even necessarily like, yes, he threw the awful picks. Like, God, where was he throwing the football? But like beyond that, like he made a lot of poor decisions, tucking the ball and trying to run away from pressure when he should have thrown the ball away or thrown it at a receiver's feet or done anything other than what he was doing. And that's very much a John Mateer centric game plan because he's going to make those mistakes. He's not necessarily the most mentally developed quarterback. Fernando Mendoza is, though. And Fernando Mendoza is a very cerebral player. And if you're Alabama's defense, you're not going to get those same mental errors from Fernando Mendoza. I don't care what kind of pressure you get on him, you're not going to get those same kind of mental errors from him. And on top of that, for as good as Oklahoma's defense is, Indiana's is definitely like a step down, but not a huge step down. It's still a very good defense. They're still going to be able to stop the run. Alabama's still going to have a one-dimensional offense. And Oklahoma, you could say has a non-dimensional offense. Like they don't have any dimensions, and Indiana has a full-fledged offense. So like I still think Indiana is the rightful favorite in that game. I think Indiana is a much different matchup than we've seen there, and frankly, I don't think it's that dissimilar to what we saw in the SEC championship game with Georgia. I think Alabama, what they showed on Friday night was definitely better than what they showed in the SEC championship, but it was also a much inferior opponent. Like Oklahoma will get their doors kicked in by Georgia. No doubt about it.
Yes, a couple of things here before we talk about Miami here in a second. I think it's interesting. Well, first of all, I gotta go back with John Batier. We grew up. You remember watching a MTV Run's House with Rev
Oh
Run,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and obviously Rev Run's brother is Russell Simmons, and
Hmm.
his son Rusty. Just that guy just broke Game Boys like the entire PSP the entire time. That's all he would do. He would just break it every episode. It's like who's this brat that can't read, just breaking his Game Boy.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you give John Mitt your playbook. He's just breaking stuff. That one pick was one of the worst. It was the worst pick I've seen in college football since Tyler Shuck threw it underhand.
Yeah, I saw someone, I can't even remember who it was. It was someone on Twitter saying that like Mateer waved to his receiver to like try to like signal like, a change in the route that he was supposed to come back to the football. And the receiver didn't see it and he was chewing out on the sideline. Brother, I don't care. Like you weren't close to the receiver. You have to have like some semblance of what you're doing behind there. And I understand you have to play with anticipation, but like the receiver never showed any sign of coming back to the football. So you can't throw that ball there.
No, you can't. And I also think it's interesting that DeBoer used to coach Indiana and then Signetti used to coach at
Yeah,
Alabama.
right. It's gonna be fun, man.
It is gonna be fun. I think that's the mid afternoon because it's the Rose Bowl and that's how
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I'm gonna move on to the Miami part of it. Really tough game. I feel like first off, Corey Heatherman coached one hell of a game on defense.
Hmm.
Shannon Dawson got cute the whole time, and then Cristobal just he stood there with a beefy chest. That's all
Yeah,
he did.
100%. And Michael Irvin's out here kissing dudes. I don't know,
Oh,
man.
Michael Irvin's down on all fours, just like joined by a man who watches games on all fours like Michael Irvin.
Look, man, Michael Irvin's like just a different breed of human being. Like he's built different in the truest sense of that phrase.
You can say that about everybody who's a legend that played at Miami, to be honest with
It's
you.
very true. It's very, very true.
I mean, you've got people like Michael Irvin, you got people like Greg like Olson, Lou Hedley, Ken Dorsey. They're all just different people. Vinny Testaverde,
Yeah, Ed Reed. Ed Reed's a different dude, man.
Vince Wilfork.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, just grilling him and Sam Pittman, man.
Just boiling. Who boils ribs? Smoking ribs. What's Labor Day about? Smoking ribs.
Just smoking ribs, baby.
I was really happy for Mark Fletcher Jr. Obviously, they
Mm,
kept showing his mom, and they talked about his late father passing last year. Mark Fletcher's a dude. Mark Fletcher's an NFL player. This guy is
mm.
going to be a fantasy darling at some point. He's one of my favorite running backs to watch. Just go to work. Running back's probably my favorite position in the NFL or in football in general. I just love it.
Yeah.
He ran with a certain level of physicality that I'm like this is going to work. And I'm not necessarily saying that Ohio State needs to be fearful of the Canes, but like they can't do a cakewalk because they might get punched in the mouth again.
No, 100%. And to your Mark Fletcher point, he reminds me a little bit of Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah,
Like just kind of like controlled chaos with how he runs, which is a lot of fun to watch. That's not even like I don't even mean that derogatorily if anyone took it that way. Like it's a very unique running style, but I definitely like to see it. But yeah, I thought that Shannon Dawson did get too cute, but I think the one thing that he did really well was you mentioned it earlier. He didn't put too much on Carson Beck's plate. He didn't ask Carson Beck to go win him the football game. He said, I have playmakers on this offense, and Carson Beck's not one of them. So how do we get them the ball? And like, do you think about the game-winning touchdown? Carson Beck barely touched the football on that play. He was like, get the ball to Tony as quickly as humanly possible, and that's how we're going to score this touchdown in the red zone.
I literally wrote this up on I don't even know, John the Dog, probably just dunking on Jared Zirkle.
Yeah,
But saying like this former Bulldog helped like take Miami to the Cotton Bowl. And it wasn't Carson Beck, it was Jared Zirkle.
that's right.
But yeah, Beck just didn't do a whole lot. I wrote it as like, oh, it was a run by Tony. Like, wait, that was actually a touchdown pass.
Yeah,
um,
but like, here's the like we said coming into this game that like we know both Marcel Reed and Carson Beck are mistake prone, especially under pressure. And you got two defenses that are really good at creating pressure. And one offensive coordinator tried to mitigate that, and that was Shannon Dawson. Colin Klein may have an eye for Kansas State because he certainly didn't do a hell of a lot to mitigate the pressure that was put on Marcel Reed, and Marcel Reed made a bunch of mistakes because of it.
I think people in A&M College Station are going to hate Colin Klein as much as people in Atlanta hate Kyle Shanahan. He just mailed it in.
100%. That was yeah, he had the forever stamp on there and everything, brother.
Dude, he was. But yeah, like as long as you got Mark Fletcher, you got Malachi Tenney, Beck will throw the ball because they'll be inside at Jerry World.
100%. Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. That was an interesting game. 10-3. Just like, people paid $570 for this seats, man.
Dude, you didn't pay for points. You paid to watch football, and this is what you got. Also just a awful weekend for Notre Dame. No
Yeah.
leg to stand on at this point.
Nah, which the Notre Dame Bowl was decided, and JMU scored a point, so they're scoring some stuff. I think that they're down by like what three scores now, so that's good for them.
Yeah, I said this earlier about Tulane scoring to get to 10 points. It's a very Chris Paul hits a big three to cut the deficit to 42. That's what it feels like out here.
Chris Paul, just born to assist, never win an NBA championship.
That's right.
Lakata Dipri, what a name, dude. That's it. He tripped over that guy.
Oh God. I'm gonna go ahead and run with our next topic, man. And I'm gonna start with Ole Miss, who uh looked a hell of a lot like Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. Maybe they don't need him, man.
Nah,
Maybe because the final score of this one was 41-10. The final score of the regular season matchup was 45-10. And they got out to a big lead and just hit cruise control. It was, and like this was with Kawan Lacey being banged up. Like you probably put 50 on the board if Kawan Lacey's healthy throughout the end of this game. Uh, Ole Miss is still a good football team, man. And you still have like they mentioned it on the broadcast several times, and I do think it's important. Like we praise Lane Kiffin as an offensive mind. He's not a play caller. And I think that's one of the big evolutions in Lane Kiffin, like making a leap as a head coach, is he's not in full control of these things anymore. Charlie Weiss Jr. has been the play caller for this team all year. Charlie Weiss Jr. is still on the sidelines. Yes, he's going to LSU, but like he knows these players, he knows how to get things cooking. And I don't want to read too much into it because you were playing Tulane, a team that we knew Ole Miss was obviously better than, but like it still looked like Ole Miss. It didn't look like there was any, any steps back from without Lane Kiffin.
No, Charlie Weiss Jr. was in his bag. He was in his bag of ruffles with his dad,
Yes,
dipping
sir.
butter. Uh, Actually, Charlie Weiss Jr. actually takes care of himself. So props to you, man.
Correct.
I was thoroughly impressed with just Pete Golding. Like again, we don't know if this is like sustainable in next year, but like people in that city and that state love him. Apparently, he's a Mississippi guy.
Mhm.
Just looks like Delta State. Basically, it just looks like he looks like he's like the rush chair for Kappa Sig.
Dude, he looks like he would be the head coach at like Blue Mountain State. That's what he looks like.
Telling Alex Moran a moron.
That's right, man. Like that's what Pete Golding looks like. But no, I like he's just a vibe. I don't know if you saw his post game press conference, but he was talking about during the COVID season when he was the DC at Alabama when Saban had to miss a game because he had COVID, and he goes, and we still beat the S out of Auburn, man. And then like finished his point, and it was like, I'll work on the cussing, and I'm like, no, you won't, but that's okay.
That's okay. You're Pete. Everybody at Vaught Hemingway was screaming Pete. It
Yeah.
was they were playing Mo Bamba at Texas A&M and just blowing Ollie Vandervoort's mind what that was all about.
Yeah, Ollie did not know anything about Mbaba. The song, the person, none of it.
Yeah, Mo Bamba is the this generation's version of Alex Chilton.
That's right. 100%.
I'm not gonna check his stash in St. Mark's Place. I guess my other thing about Ole Miss before we kind of talk about Oregon here for a second
Yeah.
is it was a very physical game, even though they won by a lot. Everybody was
Mhm.
getting hurt in the field, and I
Yeah.
kind of wonder, like, yeah, I'm a little nervous about playing Ole Miss the second time as a Georgia fan, but people got beat up in that game, in which I kind of wonder, like, if this is a costly victory for Ole Miss in some capacities.
No, I definitely think, I mean, I think specifically Lacey being banged up, like, I, it didn't seem like it was anything that was going to linger for 10 days until you play Georgia. But at the same time, like, you have the rigors of the season still weighing on you, and then you're getting banged up again before you play Georgia. And for as talented as I think Ole Miss is, Georgia's more talented. Georgia has more speed. Georgia's the favorite in that game for a reason. And like, I don't like. I definitely think there's something to like we we looked at last year's playoff games thinking about body blows. Like I specifically remember talking about like Ohio State going into the Oregon game, not taking body blows because they just beat the hell out of Tennessee so badly that you didn't really need to take body blows, and like they rested on their laurels in the second half of that game. Ole Miss didn't do that, and I think we're going to see the effect of that against Georgia. I would take Georgia if Ole Miss was fully rested, didn't play this game, if Tulane, just never showed up and just forfeited this game. I would still probably take Georgia. Now I'm more confident taking Georgia because I do think there are some lumps. Trinidad Chambliss, he's not necessarily injured, but he definitely doesn't look 100% by the end of that game.
I totally forgot that Austin Simmons is left-handed. I just like
Yeah,
completely
I
still in my
and we may have been right in believing in Ole Miss, but our reasoning being Austin Simmons could not have been more wrong.
Yeah, we couldn't do that. Kirby Smart's been preparing for Ole Miss this entire time, having like a profanity-laced tirade on the sideline. Somebody picked up from the parking lot.
100%.
And imagine if like Lane was actually coaching this game. Like,
Oh
I'm
God.
not, I'm not saying he would have like an Ellis Rob. He would have a God, what the Eugene Robinson sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
not Ellis Robinson. Wait, that's Eugene Robinson,
Yeah.
Bourbon Street Lane.
Oh man. No, he would they probably wouldn't have been chanting Lane like they were Pete, that's for sure.
No, I have a chance something else. What do you want to run with? What do you want to run with Oregon?
Yeah, so I'll admit that you and I both probably struggle with running with Oregon because I don't think either you would categorize either of us as Oregon believers by any
No.
stretch of the imagination. But I think what this James Madison game pretty definitively concludes, and what one of the things I've said all season about Oregon and like why I'm still leaving room for upside. This team's talented enough to win a national championship, man. Dante Moore's a damn good quarterback. Dante Moore's going to be a good pro quarterback too.
Yeah.
I would pretty much bet on that. You got NFL caliber wide receivers. You got I don't know, probably five running backs on the roster, but three that play that are probably going to play at the next level. Like this is a talent you got, and that's before you even get to the defensive side of the ball, which is also littered with NFL talent. Like this team is talented, and I don't even think they played like the cleanest game against JMU tonight. They certainly didn't. That's not the cleanest thing we've ever seen from them, and they're still going to win by 3 scores. And like I think that kind of speaks to what Oregon is, but also why we're still worried about them because we've seen them not play to this talent level consistently enough. We've seen them do the fake tough guy nonsense, not show up in these moments. And like all credit to them to advancing to the quarterfinals, all credit to them for taking care of business against JMU. But like at the end of the day, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than just talent and beating JMU to get it to win a national championship.
Yeah, they just out talented JMU today. There's really no way around that. It wasn't the cleanest game. They had a lot of explosive plays.
Mm-hmm.
Dante Moore's he's QB2. He's
Yeah.
a second. It's behind Mendoza and it's him and probably Ty Simpson's probably gonna be a first round pick too. I would venture to guess that those three guys need to go. Like it's
Yeah.
just they and because you got Keelan Russell like breathing down your back there in Tuscaloosa. Ty Simpson's
Mm-hmm.
played enough here. Dante Moore, like he'll go play for the. I hope he doesn't go to the Jets. That'd be awful for him. I hope nobody goes to Jets. Actually, Ty Simpson, they love drafting Alabama quarterbacks.
There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The reincarnation of Joe Namath. Let's go.
Joe Namath, Richard Todd, Greg McElroy. It's a thing that they do.
They also drafted Christian Hackenberg in the second round. Never forget.
They sure did, man. And he has as many NFL snaps as you and I combined.
That's right, baby.
Uh, I guess like the other thing that I was thinking about with Oregon is they got to be a little tighter than this versus Texas Tech
Oh yeah.
because look, you're going to be in the Orange Bowl. You're going to be traveling literally to the other side of the country versus a well-rested, well-coached team. Granted, I think all things equal, Oregon is a better coached team. The coaches are more talented
Hmm.
than what the Texas Tech has to provide, but Joe McGuire is not going anywhere.
Hmm.
Shieldwood's not going anywhere. But Will Stein's off to Lexington here soon, and then Tosh Lapoy is going to be going to Berkeley. And we saw how that negatively impacted Texas A&M versus a similar quality opponent
Hmm.
big time. Like I'm a little nervous about that, but that game's going to be a lot of fun. I could be convinced either way of either of those teams winning.
No, 100%. It's probably the game I'm most excited for in the second round. Close behind will be Indiana, Alabama, but it's definitely one I'm looking forward to. Um, that to your point though, like when I look at Oregon, like if they play with the lack of precision that they did on Saturday night against JMU, against Texas Tech, that defense is going to eat them alive
Yeah.
because you got to have your I's dotted and your T's crossed against Texas Tech's defense because like I'm not sure how many points Texas Tech's going to score. Like let's be clear about that. I think Oregon's defense is good enough, well coached enough, and talented enough to put the clamps on Texas Tech. But I think that it wouldn't shock me if it was something similar to what we saw with Texas A&M and Miami today, where it's just a dogfight and whatever quarterback makes the mistake. And like at the end of the day, I think Texas Tech's defense is better than Oregon's, and I think that that defense is more likely to force a mistake from Dante Moore because as like Dante Moore is clearly a better quarterback than Barron Morton. Like I'm not reinventing the wheel by saying that or like breaking ground or hot taking or anything of that sort. But Baron Morton does have a hell of a lot more experience than Dante Moore does.
Yes, he does.
And in an environment where it's going to be tight butthole, it's going to be defense kind of ruling the day is what I imagine. I think that I might actually get Baron Morton the advantage because we've seen Dante Moore look shaky at times when he has faced elite defense. You think back to the Iowa game, man, he did not play well in the Iowa game. They skated by and they got out of it, but that's not a guarantee that's going to happen against Texas Tech because Texas Tech is a far superior opponent to what Iowa is.
Yeah, I didn't know if Adam Devine or Adam DeMamp's a real big college football fan, but he's a big Barry Morton fan because
That's right.
tight butthole.
Tight butthole, baby.
I tried doing it under the desk and like my hands, it's not working right now. Yeah, so we feel pretty good that Oregon's like they're on the level of teams that can win a national championship if
Mhm.
they get the right matchup. But they got to play cleaner. They have the talent.
No, 100%. And like to the point of the Iowa game, like we both picked them to lose that Iowa game. And like they won a game in a style that I didn't know Oregon was capable of. And that's why I like when I watch this game, I look at the talent and I see what they're capable of. You have to leave that door open. I'm probably not going to pick them to win a national championship by any stretch of the imagination because I don't trust seeing that consistently enough.
No.
But the potential is certainly there. Like if we woke up in, 3 weeks from now and Oregon's hosting the national championship trophy, like I wouldn't be like appalled by that happening. Like I would if no offense, but like I would probably be a little appalled if Miami was hosting the national championship trophy.
Yeah, and I feel that right there. So let's get on to some pass the two teams that aren't going to be raising the national championship trophy this year. I'm going to pass on Oklahoma ever winning a playoff game,
Hmm.
and I'm going to pass on the idea of ever trusting Texas A&M
Hmm.
ever.
Yeah.
Man, just dog crap in a bag from both departments. And I've been sitting here. We'll get really nasty with A&M here in a second, but Oklahoma, they're 0 and 5.
Hmm.
Like there's other teams that have lost five playoff games, but they've also won a lot more. Like Alabama's lost five playoff games. Ohio State's lost, but they've also won like five or seven apiece.
Hmm.
Like this, I just for a team that supposedly was good on special teams. Also, Tate Sandell, get rid of those pants and get rid of your Luke Groza trophy and give it to Peyton Woodring or the Hawaii guy.
Yeah, give it to the Hawaii guy, dude. That is awesome. Learn to kick on YouTube. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he missed like a 30 or 9 yard field goal and then came up short in a 51 yarder. It was
Yeah.
just pathetic. Then he had the blocked punt, and I'm just sitting here with Oklahoma, and I wonder like it's so far in their head, man.
Hmm.
And you could just see the reaction that everybody in at Owen Field had basically in the stands was like, oh no, here we go again. This isn't like A&M. This isn't anybody else we've seen out there. The look on their faces was just a pure disgust.
Hmm. No,
And yeah,
sorry, I was just gonna say like it very much feels, and maybe this is unfair, but I don't think it is. Like it feels like Brent Venables in Oklahoma are chasing ghosts, man. And like in the and like I think that was something that Lincoln Riley was doing too. Like you're chasing the ghosts of what Stoops did beforehand because I feel pretty confident in saying that with some of the teams that Lincoln Riley took to the playoff, with some of the like maybe not necessarily this team because this is a very flawed Oklahoma team. Let's be very clear about that. They deserve to get into the playoff. I'm not arguing against that, but like you could look at the playoff field and look at this Oklahoma team and be like, there's a reason that we picked Oklahoma to win the game, but have worse chances of winning a national championship. That's what this Oklahoma team was. But you go back to like the Lincoln Riley era. Bob Stoops is probably winning some of those playoff games because
yeah.
Bob Stoops had created a culture. And like since then, they're chasing ghosts of that, man. And like earlier today, I wrote something about grading Brent Venables' first 4 years at Oklahoma because it's been super uneven. We had a 6 and 7 year, a 10 and 3 year before they finished up in the Big 12. And in the SEC, we've had a 6 and 7 year and a 10 and 3 year. So like shouts out to somewhat consistency, but it's also maddeningly inconsistent. But I think that inconsistency, we see it on a down to down, play to play, game to game basis, not just season to season. And like, that's the really frustrating part is because when you think about what made Oklahoma such a bankable commodity and what made them a blue blood in college football under Bob Stoops, and beforehand, even before that, like when you think about what made them such a bankable commodity, is even when they weren't at the peak of their powers, they were consistent. They were reliable. They had a culture you could hang your hat on. And right now, I just don't see that.
They were sure hard to kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to steal that from Georgia and be real original there, man. Also the Arizona State podcast discovered who Brian Bosworth was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was trying to explain like what she's like, what the hell is this guy steal? I'm like,
Hey, you
how
know,
much time do you have?
the boss may not be right on many things, but he was ahead of the curve with the NCAA. We'll give him
Yeah.
that credit.
Oh yeah, yeah, he was all about that. I mean, you talk about like chasing kids, like Barry Switzer is on the sidelines there. Like
Mhm.
when I think of Oklahoma excellence, again, there's probably no video film of Bud Wilkinson era,
Yeah.
but like the Switzer era in like the 80s, those teams were probably the most physical teams to ever
Mhm.
play college football. Like that's and you're getting there with Venables, and I think he did a good job, but you also have to deal with the consequences of hiring a 30-year-old offensive coordinator in Ben
Mhm.
Arbuckle.
Yeah.
Man, and then it just I don't know if they're ever going to do it. I'm sitting here. I'm like, you're at home. You've got everybody here. The weather advantage. You beat them beforehand.
You get out to a 17-0 lead. Let's not
Yes.
gloss over that.
No, you
Like
got up to 17 nothing lead. I can't believe not that Alabama could come back because like they were always capable of that, but like Oklahoma, like you shouldn't. It's a waste of everybody's time there. I saw some sort of meme there where it says like there's like the angel of the OU logo going up to heaven. It says like, was I a good playoff team? And the Grim Reaper says like, nah, you sucked. You're the first one to die.
you died quickly in like a like a little never mind.
That's like the what is it? It's like the gamekeeper in Watchmen. Was I a good adversary? Not at all.
100%, dude.
And
I
then
just
like
gotta say, because I just keep glancing over at it. I hate these like I hate this Oregon uniform combo. Wearing the winged helmet with the old school duck logo on the jersey looks stupid as hell.
you should just stop with saying I hate Oregon uniforms. It's just the most impressionable factory of all time. I'm just in
No,
love with
see,
the
if they, I will like honestly, truly, like I'm not a big Oregon uniform guy, like to be clear, but like the one I do really like is when they have the old school duck logo on the helmet, and like that goes with these jerseys, but they're wearing the new school helmets with it. Like it makes no sense.
just like that duck doing push-ups.
Hey,
Go.
he's got impressive upper body strength. I'll give him that.
He does, man. And is that place drier than Provo right now?
Oh, 100%.
Watching a high school game. I'm being really disrespectful for a team that scored 51 points on Jamie, but that's okay.
I mean, they not to be mean, but they did it on JMU. Like
26 points for Jamie. That's how many letters are in Thomas Carnante's name.
it's about how many Ohio State scored on you last year too.
Yeah, that's it'd be like that sometimes. And then let's be really mean with Texas A&M.
Please, please, let's do it.
Never trust Texas
No.
A&M. It's like you're a frog. You're trying to ford a river, and the scorpion wants a ride, and you do it every time. Lucy pulls the football out from you. Texas A&M is just a sit down football program. Like they pee on their legs when they're sitting down. Like that's what they did today.
No, 100%, man. It's tough to and like I the one thought that keeps rattling in my head, Lucy Roden said something and like she called Texas A&M a result of the of ostensibly the super conferences that we're seeing develop. The fact that we're a power four, not a power five anymore. The fact that we have all these teams in the SEC, all these teams in the Big Ten. Texas A&M didn't play anybody, man. They
No,
didn't play anybody except for like they played Notre Dame in the non-conference early in the season when Notre Dame wasn't Notre Dame yet. Barely escaped with a win, 41-40. And then the next time they played someone, Texas beat them pretty handily. And like you get to the college football playoff and you get hit in the mouth and you don't know what to do. And like that's exactly what it looked like, man. It looked like, you know, we can criticize Colin Klein for mailing it in and already having eyes on Kansas State. He also just looked outmatched, quite frankly. He
yeah.
looked like he was the second best offensive coordinator on the field, on the sidelines.
Well, then Heatherman's like could win the Broyles. Heatherman was just
Oh yeah,
good, man.
oh yeah, 100%.
Heatherman was just like,
Which I mean speaks to his credit too, because I mean, let's be clear, he might have been the best defensive mind on the field, and he was on the field with Mike Elko, who we
yeah, I know.
we have a ton of respect for.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it all for A&M for me is like I want to pull from because I really like Elko and
Yeah.
everything like that. And he just seems to be again, we talk about impressionable programs on Mount Impressionable, where the players are attracted to the wrong things. That's why you don't win a damn thing ever. Elko cuts through that.
Hmm.
Elko is like, man, I got a pot belly here. I'm gonna go get some barbecue. Let's go kick some ass, fellas. And
100%.
and I love that about him. Whereas Jimbo Fisher is just like, I'm talking really fast, or Kevin Sumlin's like, I got the swag copter. Like we've gotten away from that. But we're sitting on a tweet saying like Mario Craver is the highest paid receiver on the team. I'm like, you deserve to lose as soon as you put that out there, man. Like
Yeah.
this is just like you think Ohio State's putting that shit out there? Like, no.
No, absolutely
Georgia,
not.
no. Kurt is like, no, we don't actually want you to know how much you're making.
No, 100%. And like, it's just, you're right. Mike Elko cuts through a lot of that. And I think that I will say, like, I'm not going to write Texas A&M off forever
No.
because I trust Mike Elko to change the culture enough. But like, we're still pretty young into the Mike Elko tenure at Texas A&M. Like, there's a lot of scar tissue, a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Like dead skin that you need to like clean off, man. You need to get the exfoliating brush out there and just like keep scrubbing and get it off. And like that's what Mike Elko's having to do. And like today was definitely a throwback to Texas A&M of old. But like to Mike Elko's credit, yes, the schedule was soft, but like Texas A&M coaches of past would have still pissed on their leg before Saturday.
Yeah, my thing is like Elko had such a tremendous advantage over Mario
Hmm.
Cristobal. And I sent you that to you in Slack before. It's like Mario Cristobal is celebrating a Hurricanes wins like David Putty is celebrating the New Jersey Devils.
The Hurricane.
I wonder if he stares at the back of his headrest in a 22-hour flight,
Oh, he 100% does.
staring at Oh man.
And
I
he's got
just
Carson Beck staring like that right beside him.
Are they watching Ice Age together?
He's watching his screen and Cristobal's screen.
He's processing a lot of stuff at the same time.
He's
Uh,
watching Ice Age and Ice Age 2. And Snapchat. You can't forget the Snapchats either.
Nah. No, remember how he came back? He's like, I'm gonna win a national championship. The Heisman Trophy be the number one overall pick. No.
It might go over on that one, brother.
You're gonna get drafted like Tyler Bray.
You get used to holding a clipboard. That's what you need to practice.
Yes. Look at that Oregon defense. Just looking really great. Jamie's first and goal. 51-26, 16 minutes left.
We love it, man. I mean,
We
hey,
love
hats off to JMU. They're not quitting. They're
and
not. It's not close, but they're not quitting.
no, I think we should move on to some punt here and talk about JMU and Tulane with some respect.
Let's do it, man. We didn't want to be too disrespectful to JMU or Tulane here because we'll touch on this in a second, but we want to talk about are these two G5 programs that they're obviously, Bob Chesney's headed to UCLA, John Summerall's headed to Florida. We've got Will Hall replacing at Tulane, and we've got Billy Napier going up to Harrisonburg to take the job for the Dukes. But are these kind of like plug and play jobs in the G5 or as close as we're going to get to plug and play jobs in the G5? And like, we don't know that yet. And I think we're going to get a really good test case of it in Tulane because neither of us like the Will Hall hire all that much at all. And we'll find out just how much plug and play really is with these programs. I don't think we'll know quite as certainly with JMU because Billy Napier's a good G5 head coach. So like, part of it is just going to be Billy Napier being good at his job.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning more towards JMU being that because
Mhm.
I mean it's been that longer. Prior to Willie Fritz, Tulane was not very good. Whereas, pre-Signet, you still had Mike Houston. You've had a
Mhm.
long line of other coaches that have been very successful, but they're like in that same sort of cluster of teams. I'd say Memphis has kind of become plug and play.
Mhm.
Boise State outside of Andy Avalos is plug and play.
Yeah.
Maybe UNLV is becoming that now.
Yeah, and I mean, I would throw Toledo in the MAC
Yes,
in there. Like, I mean,
Jason Candle.
part of that is me just hating Jason Candle, but like, I like, I don't
I
think
mean,
Toledo's going anywhere.
no, Matt Campbell won there, Gary Pinkel won there, Nick Saban won there for a year. Like, yeah, it's Toledo's like a well-oiled machine, man.
Yeah, I mean it's by far the most well-resourced program in the MAC, and like you just keep doing it. And like I will say the one thing I'm interested to see with JMU moving forward with Billy Napier is with James Franklin at Virginia Tech, if they feel any ripple effects from that. If Virginia Tech does rebound, because I think that JMU has definitely, particularly in recent history, benefited from the fact that both Virginia and Virginia Tech have been in like down periods.
You also have ODU, which is
Mhm.
doing pretty well right now, all things considered.
Yeah.
And then if you're looking like further out, Maryland doesn't have it figured out.
No.
Uh,
No.
West Virginia, not so much. Marshall's in a bit of flux, so maybe there is some territory you can occupy. But
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. It's going to be much more challenging with Virginia Tech on the come up, and Virginia is certainly well right now.
100%. Yeah. And yeah, but I do think it's like it's worthwhile to punt because we have seen a lot of success from multiple coaches at these programs in recent years. And like, yes, this is JMU's first playoff appearance, but like, I mean, let's be clear, like this would have happened to Duke. What's happening to JMU right now against Oregon? Like Duke's not doing much better against this. And like I saw someone argue like, oh, what are we gonna do? Put Duke in over Tulane? Tulane beat Duke on the field. So like, what are we talking about here? Like this is like both of these teams deserve to be here. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with the second point of this conversation because we can talk about their plug and play nature and like we're punting on that for a reason. We don't know. We kind of lean more towards yes, towards JMU. We'll see with Will Hall and Tulane because that's a
Yeah,
very good test case to prove that. But this is obviously with Tulane getting blown out, JMU getting blown out. The discussion is going to be about G5 teams in the playoff. And I don't know where you stand on this, but excuse me, I'm still for it, man, because it just I think not having a G5 spot or the path for a G5 team as open as it currently is to the playoff devalues so much of the not just like the regular season college football, but like the landscape of college football. You're basically taking half of the college football world that we watch every single Saturday and enjoy every single Saturday, and hell with Maction and Sunbelt and stuff like that, Tuesday through Saturday that we enjoy every single week throughout the fall, and you're devaluing it, making it mean almost next to nothing. And like if you made it just a G5 playoff, no one's watching that shit. Like
no,
that's just point blank period what it's going to happen. Like you and I and the sickos of the world will watch it, but in terms of the people that are tuning in to watch the college football playoff, it's pennies that we're talking about
yeah.
here.
We'll touch on this a little bit more on tomorrow's show for Monday, but like I don't know if you caught the tail end of it, the Tulane Ole Miss game with what Joe Tessitore had to say.
No, I had it muted. What do you say?
Like, he was basically saying like, look, we got two G5 teams in here. Jesse Palmer was saying like, wish there was only one. They were kind of both like saying like they weren't really like a fan of it. And Tessitore says they do this because they want to avoid an antitrust lawsuit,
Yeah,
which
which is
is
fair.
which is fair. Just like, I'm sure they had wonderful food in Oxford. I'm sure they had a good time, but they're probably like, man, I wish I was calling a different game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a reason that the two G5 teams happen to occupy time slots when the NFL also had two games going on. That's not coincidental by any stretch of the imagination.
No, no, just it's I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it like, yeah, I would still want to see them in there because occasionally a team will compete, but
Mhm.
like we see a lot of blowouts in the playoff anyway, regardless
Mhm.
of conference affiliation or ties. It's just the nature of the beast here.
Yeah, I mean it's a 12 team playoff, man. Like if it was the 4 team playoff, yeah, we're not getting an automatic G5 qualifier every year. Like that's not a thing that's going to happen in a 4 team playoff. It's the construct of making a 12 team playoff. And I can't remember who it was, but I saw someone on the X or Twitter or whatever you call it, making the point that like you think like yes, this isn't going to drive like this game specifically is not driving that much revenue for JMU.
No,
The Tulane game is not driving that much revenue for Tulane. But you know what it did in the regular season when they were trying to compete for a college football playoff berth. You know what it did in the Sun Belt Championship game when JMU fans traveled to go see and hey, is JMU going to make it into the playoff? We're going to have a chance to make it in the playoff. In the AAC championship game with Tulane and North Texas, trying to see, hey, maybe one of these teams can get into maybe my team can get into the playoff. That's where you see the ticket sales. That's where you see it, kind of the ripple effects. And hell, there's going to be people like recruits who have never seen JMU before and like, hey, I really like the style of football. Like, especially the way JMU's putting up a fight, not quitting. Like, there are going to be recruits, players in the transfer portal who see that and want to play for this program. Like, the exposure outweighs like what this game actually looks like in terms of the final score. Which shouts to JMU, they just scored again. So like JMU just put up 30 against Oregon.
What to do, Basil?
Hey, you know
But
what, man?
I'm proud. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the Dukes not quitting. I got two thoughts here that we could probably get out of here.
Yeah,
Because we're on the same time zone. With our states touching, it's crazy.
100%, man.
So I am not. I think JMU's a well-oiled machine. I think Billy Napier, like you said, it's like he's kind of overqualified for the role he's taking.
Yeah.
And James Madison's going to be fine. They're going to be back in the playoff at least once in the next 3 or 4 years. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
I am very concerned about Tulane.
Yeah, I would be too. Will Hall's not that good a coach, man.
No, just because he was an OC back in 2020 doesn't matter. Like just because he was like friends with Willie Fritz. He was friends with Bobby Cox. That was it was Freddie Gonzalez. Look how that turned out, man.
Right. Yeah. There were a lot of people who were friends with Bill Belichick back when Bill Belichick knew how to coach football, and it didn't always work out for those guys.
No, it didn't. And I guess like the last thing is, look, you mentioned like about getting into the playoff for the tournament. View this like basketball. Like, we talk about the Cinderellas and the upsets. Like, there's a reason it's usually only like a game or like
Mhm.
a weekend. Maybe occasionally you get a team like a George Mason or like a
NC
St.
State a few
Peter's,
years ago,
NC State or
even.
something like that. But you're not gonna like the teams. There's only a handful of teams who go into a national championship in these sports in a given year. The cut line seems like depending on how you feel about Miami, I think you and I are both like probably not. Even Alabama, we're like probably not. You're looking at like Oregon's about the worst team that could probably win it right now.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm leaning more towards like, and this could look stupid, especially how last year played out with in terms of the teams that got a bye. But it's also a different situation than last year because like you're looking at, Georgia had a bye last year and they also didn't have Carson Beck for the playoff game. They had Gunnar Stockton coming in ice cold for that game. So like it's different situation than this year, but like I look at the four teams that have a bye and like, man, I'll give Oregon the benefit of the doubt because of the talent that they have, but like if I'm making a national championship pick, it's from the four teams that have a bye.
Pretty much. That's kind of where it is right now, man.
Yeah. And like that's not the entire 12 team playoff. And that's kind of the point. Like, why not give these G5 team like the chance to pull off something spectacular? Why not give the G5 program a chance to get that exposure? Like, I don't like if Notre Dame was in this playoff, it wouldn't change anything, man. Like Notre Dame's probably losing one of these games too. Like Notre Dame, like sure, if Notre Dame played Ole Miss, yeah, they might beat Ole Miss because they don't have the coaching upheaval that Ole Miss is currently going
Right.
through. They're probably still getting their skulls kicked in by Georgia.
You know who you can blame for all this? Oklahoma.
Of course, always,
Because
always.
they let Boise State beat them.
That's right, 100%.
Oh man. And this was 3 yards in a cloud of punt here on False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter or the X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams semi-live from Mills River, North Carolina on the X at the Sizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review.
I don't have the advent calendar behind me
No,
this year. I'm sad.
no, I know. We were like almost touching screens here, like it's a Blink-182.
That's
So I'll give the starters here a little bit of an update, basically what we're going to do for the schedule going forward. Again, we're going to be doing Monday's show, recording tomorrow. It's going to be a Bad Santa themed. It's still going to be having like regular seggies, but Bad Santa themed. Then because Christmas is on Thursday, we're going to be recording our Christmas episode on Tuesday. It's going to be very festive. It's the dumbest show. It's one of the dumbest shows that we do. It's not really tied into like anything, but it's fun.
I forgot to pack a Christmas sweater, so I apologize for that.
That's okay. You can go find one.
That's right. I'll find something.
You'll find something. And then I think we got then we won't be coming back until like what, Tuesday, no, Sunday the 28th
Yeah.
for the 29th. Then we're gonna do one on Tuesday the 30th because you got the CFP on New Year's Day and everything like that on the first, which is a Thursday.
I'm gonna make an executive call right here. Do you just want to record the one on the 30th and not do the one on the 28th, and we can get it up on the 30th?
That is a possibility. You know what?
I think that makes the
Maybe
most sense, honestly.
I got to rechange everything. It's gonna be great.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're taking time, spend quality time with our families and everything like that because that's what we do.
100%.
Yeah, man. Once again, oh my God, Dan Lanning's talking.
Show the rib tat. Show it.
Should the This is my son Trident and Tolton and Barchley. Those are such iPad kids, dude.
This is my son Barley.
Ends of the cough. And we're not getting the show with a cough because this is false start.